All right, so are you ready to dive deep into this, the science of aging? Today, we're going to be going on a journey through all the cellular and molecular processes that keep us going and the ones that eventually cause us to well age.
And you've got some pretty fascinating research for this deep dive.
Yeah. We're looking at a 2024 academic review article called Molecular Mechanisms of Aging and Anti-Aging Strategies. It's from the journal Cell Communication and Signaling.
Hmm.
So we'll be exploring all the key mechanisms of aging, highlighting some potential anti-aging strategies, and of course we'll leave you with some food for thought about the future of longevity.
Sounds intriguing.
It is. Now, one thing this paper emphasizes is that aging isn't just a single process. It's this complex interplay of factors.
Right.
It's like a tapestry, you know. You pull on one thread and it affects the whole thing.
Exactly. The paper outlines what are known as the hallmarks of aging, which are like the key elements in this whole process.
Yeah.
We're talking about things like telomere attrition, DNA damage, mitochondrial dysfunction, the loss of a molecule called NAD plus COM issues with something called autophagy, and stem cell exhaustion.
Okay, so let's unravel this a bit. It's fascinating to me that our DNA, like the very blueprint of life, is constantly under attack.
It really is. Our cells are constantly bombarded by internal and external factors that just damage their DNA. Think about it. Mammalian cells can experience up to 100,000 DNA damage events every single day.
100,000? Wow, that's a lot of wear and tear.
It is. Imagine your DNA like a cookbook
Okay.
that's constantly being used. Over time, pages get ripped, they get stained, the text becomes harder to read.
Yeah.
Cells have repair mechanisms, but those mechanisms become less efficient as we age.
So what does this actually look like in the body?
Well, think about something like sun damage on your skin.
Right.
That's a visible sign of DNA damage.
That makes sense. Now, this next one is kind of mind-blowing. Apparently, our cells have built-in expiration dates called telomeres.
It's true. Telomeres are like protective caps on the ends of our chromosomes. Every time a cell divides, these telomeres shorten. When they get too short, the cell enters a state called senescence, which means it stops dividing.
So are you saying that shorter telomeres mean we're closer to the end of our lifespan?
Well, it's a bit more nuanced than that, but essentially, yes. Telomere length is a key factor in aging. One way to picture it is like those plastic tips on shoelaces.
Okay.
They prevent the laces from fraying. As the tips wear down, the shoelaces become more susceptible to damage.
Okay, that's a helpful analogy. And this explains why some tissues like skin regenerate faster than others, right?
Precisely. Tissues that regenerate quickly tend to have longer telomeres and higher levels of telomerase, the enzyme that can rebuild those telomeres.
Gotcha. Speaking of things that decline with age, let's talk about mitochondria. Remember learning about those in school? The powerhouses of our cells.
Absolutely. Mitochondria are essential for converting nutrients into energy that our cells can use.
But the paper suggests they're also implicated in the aging process. How so?
Well, as we age, mitochondria become less efficient at producing energy and more likely to produce harmful byproducts called reactive oxygen species. These byproducts can damage cells and contribute to aging.
So it's like a car engine getting rusty and sputtering.
Right.
Not only less power, but it's also polluting more.
That's a great way to think about it. And this is one of the reasons why a healthy lifestyle with things like exercise and a balanced diet is so important, especially as we age. These lifestyle factors support healthy mitochondrial function.
Now, there's another molecule this paper discusses that I found really interesting, NAD plus A. It sounds like it plays a pretty critical role in our cells.
It does. NAD plus, or nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, is a coenzyme. It's essential for a wide range of cellular processes, including energy production, DNA repair, and cell signaling.
Okay, so it's involved in a lot of important functions, but what does this have to do with aging?
Well, the problem is that NAD plus levels naturally decline as we get older. And this decline has been linked to a variety of age-related problems, from metabolic disorders to cognitive decline.
Oh, wow.
You can think of it like a battery slowly losing its charge over time.
Interesting. So is there anything we can do to boost NAD plus levels?
Well, there's a lot of research being done in this area. Scientists are investigating whether things like diet and supplements can help increase NAD plus levels, but it's still early days.
Okay, well, let's move on to another hallmark of aging, this one called autophagy. From what I understand, it's like the cell's internal cleaning crew.
You got it. Autophagy is a crucial process where cells break down and recycle damaged components, sort of like taking out the cellular trash.
So this helps keep our cells functioning properly.
Exactly. It's essential for maintaining cellular health and preventing the buildup of harmful waste products.
But what happens to this process as we age? Does it slow down?
Unfortunately, yes. Autophagy becomes less efficient as we get older, and this can lead to a buildup of damaged proteins and organelles within cells, which can contribute to aging and disease. It's like the garbage collectors going on strike. The trash starts piling up.
Well, that's not good. Are there ways to keep those cellular garbage collectors working?
There are some promising avenues of research looking into that very question. Some studies suggest that certain lifestyle interventions, like fasting or specific dietary changes, might help to stimulate autophagy.
So there might be ways to give those garbage collectors a little nudge?
Potentially.
Yeah.
But more research is needed to understand the complexities of autophagy
Right.
and how it's impacted by aging.
Okay. Let's talk about stem cells. These are the cells that have the amazing ability to differentiate into various cell types, right?
Yeah.
They're like the body's repair team.
Yes. Stem cells are essential for tissue regeneration and repair. They have the remarkable ability to divide and differentiate into specialized cell types, replenishing our tissues and organs.
But what happens to stem cells as we age?
Sadly, their numbers and functionality decline.
Okay.
This stem cell exhaustion is another key contributor to aging. It means our tissues lose their ability to repair and regenerate as effectively, making us more susceptible to damage and disease.
So is there any way to replenish or rejuvenate our stem cell populations as we get older?
That's a question at the forefront of aging research. Scientists are exploring various strategies, including stem cell therapies and ways to stimulate the body's own stem cell activity. It's a very exciting area of research with enormous potential.
Speaking of exciting research, I'm curious about this concept of cellular senescence. It sounds like it's more than just cells dying.
You're right. Senescence is a state where cells stop dividing but don't actually die. They become somewhat dysfunctional and can actually contribute to aging in a surprising way.
Okay, this is where I get a bit confused. How can cells that are no longer dividing cause problems? Wouldn't it be better if they just died off?
Well, it's not that simple. Senescent cells, while they've stopped dividing, are still metabolically active, and they start to secrete a variety of molecules, including inflammatory factors, that can damage surrounding tissues and contribute to age-related diseases.
So they're like those party guests who overstay their welcome and start causing trouble.
That's a great analogy. These senescent cells hang around and disrupt the cellular neighborhood, contributing to inflammation and tissue damage.
Wow, I never thought of it that way. But this research is actually leading to some potentially groundbreaking treatments, right?
Yes, there's a growing field of research focused on developing drugs called senolytics, which are specifically designed to target and eliminate senescent cells.
So it's like having a bouncer at the cellular level to kick out those unruly guests.
Exactly, and the early research on senolytics is very promising. They've shown potential in treating a range of age-related conditions in animal studies.
Well, this is all incredibly fascinating, but I feel like we've only scratched the surface of what this paper covers.
You're right. There are many other factors that play a role in aging, like inflammation, changes in the way our bodies sense nutrients, alterations in how cells communicate with each other, and even changes in the gut microbiome.
It sounds like aging is incredibly complex.
Yeah.
It's not just one thing going wrong, it's a whole cascade of events happening at the cellular level.
Exactly. It's like a symphony with many different instruments all playing their part. And as we age, the music starts to get a bit out of tune.
So knowing all this, is there anything we can actually do about it? Are we just passengers on this aging train, or do we have some control over the journey?
That's a great question, and one we'll delve into more deeply in a bit. But I can tell you that we're not powerless against aging. There are things we can do to influence how we age, both through lifestyle choices and through the exciting developments happening in anti-aging research.
Well, that's encouraging. I'm definitely eager to learn more about what those things might be. But first, I think it's time for a short break. We've covered a lot of ground, and I know I need a moment to let it all sink in. We'll be back soon to explore some potential anti-aging strategies, so stay tuned.
Okay, so we've explored all these intricate cellular and molecular processes that contribute to aging. Now let's shift gears a little bit and delve into some potential strategies for, maybe slowing down or even reversing these processes.
Yeah, it's an area of intense research, and there's some really fascinating avenues being explored. The paper you provided highlights a range of approaches, from lifestyle interventions to some cutting-edge therapies.
So let's start with the lifestyle interventions. I'm curious, are we talking about the usual suspects like diet and exercise here?
Well, those are certainly part of the equation. But the paper goes a bit deeper, exploring the molecular mechanisms behind why these lifestyle factors might actually influence aging.
Okay, let's unpack that a little bit. What specifically does the research say about diet, for example? Well, one area that's received a lot of attention is calorie restriction.
Hmm.
Studies have shown that reducing calorie intake without malnutrition can actually extend lifespan in a variety of organisms, from yeast to primates.
That's intriguing, but I'll admit the idea of severely restricting calories doesn't sound very appealing.
I understand that sentiment. It's important to note that we're not talking about starvation here. The research suggests that even moderate calorie restriction while maintaining proper nutrition can have these beneficial effects.
So it's about finding a balance.
Exactly. And the paper delves into some of the potential mechanisms behind this. Calorie restriction seems to activate certain cellular pathways, particularly those involved in energy sensing and stress response, that seem to promote longevity.
Fascinating. It's like our cells are more resilient and efficient when they're not constantly bombarded with excess calories.
That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
And it really highlights how these lifestyle choices can directly impact our cellular processes.
What about exercise? We all know it's good for us, but does this paper shed any light on how it might be influencing aging at that molecular level?
It does. The paper discusses how exercise can actually counteract several of those hallmarks of aging. For instance, we talked earlier about how mitochondrial function declines with age. Well, exercise has been shown to improve mitochondrial health, increasing their efficiency and reducing the production of those harmful reactive oxygen species.
So hitting the gym is not just about building muscles and burning calories. It's about keeping those cellular powerhouses in tip-top shape.
Precisely. And the benefits go beyond the mitochondria. Exercise also seems to have positive effects on telomere lengths and stem cell function, further supporting its role in healthy aging.
Okay, so diet and exercise are key. What other lifestyle factors does the paper highlight?
Sleep is another really crucial one. The paper emphasizes that getting enough quality sleep is essential for cellular repair and regeneration. During sleep, our bodies are hard at work repairing DNA damage, clearing out cellular waste, and replenishing energy stores.
So skimping on sleep is like denying our cells the downtime they need to perform these essential maintenance tasks.
Exactly. Chronic sleep deprivation can accelerate aging and increase the risk of various age-related diseases.
This is all starting to make a lot of sense. It's like we have a lot more control over how we age than we might realize.
I agree. These lifestyle factors lay a really strong foundation for healthy aging. But the paper also explores some more targeted interventions that are showing some promise in the fight against aging.
Let's talk about those. I'm particularly interested in those senolytics we discussed earlier, the drugs that target and eliminate senescent cells. The paper mentions several types, right?
Yes, there are both natural and synthetic senolytics that are being investigated. On the natural side, there are compounds like quercetin, which is found in fruits and vegetables, and fisetin, found in strawberries, that have shown some senolytic activity.
So could eating more strawberries actually help fight aging?
It's possible. But more research is needed to understand the optimal doses and how these natural compounds work in the human body. There are also synthetic senolytics like dizetinib and avidiclax that have shown some pretty impressive results in animal studies.
What kind of results are we talking about?
Studies have shown that these senolytics can improve a range of age-related conditions in mice, from frailty and cardiovascular disease to cognitive decline.
Wow, that's incredible. So are we close to having an anti-aging poll?
Not quite yet. While the early research is exciting, it's important to remember that these are still early days. We need more research, particularly in humans, to determine the safety and effectiveness of these senolytics.
Right, that makes sense. It's all about proceeding with caution, but the potential is definitely there. What other promising interventions does the paper highlight?
Another area that's generating a lot of buzz is NAD+ boosting. We talked earlier about how NAD+ levels decline with age. Well, researchers are investigating ways to replenish those NAD+ levels using what are called precursor molecules.
Precursor molecules, what are those?
They're like the building blocks that our cells can use to create more NAD+ womage. Two precursors that have shown promise are nicotinamide riboside, or NR, and nicotinamide mononucleotide, or NMN.
Okay, so by supplementing with these precursors, we can potentially boost our NAD+ levels and counteract that age-related decline.
That's the idea. Studies in animals have shown that boosting NAD+ levels can improve a range of age-related conditions, including muscle function, cognitive health, and even lifespan.
So it's like recharging those cellular batteries we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. And there are ongoing clinical trials to see if these benefits translate to humans. It's a very exciting area of research.
What about metformin? I remember hearing that this diabetes drug might have some anti-aging properties. Does the paper mention anything about that?
It does. Metformin has been around for decades as a treatment for type 2 diabetes.
Right.
But in recent years, there's been growing interest in its potential as an anti-aging agent.
How does metformin work in that context?
Well, it seems to impact several of the hallmarks of aging we discussed earlier. One of its key actions is to activate a protein called AMPK, which acts as a cellular energy sensor.
So it's like metformin is giving our cells a little wake-up call, reminding them to be more efficient with their energy use.
That's a good way to think about it. By activating AMPK, metformin seems to promote autophagy, enhance mitochondrial function, and reduce inflammation, all of which contribute to healthier aging.
That's fascinating. So a drug that was originally designed to treat diabetes might actually hold the key to slowing down aging.
It's certainly a possibility. There are large-scale clinical trials underway to explore metformin's anti-aging potential, and the results are eagerly awaited.
This is also promising. It sounds like there's a whole arsenal of potential weapons in the fight against aging, from lifestyle changes to cutting-edge drugs and therapies.
Yeah, it's an exciting time to be following this field, but it's important to remember that aging is incredibly complex, and there's still much we don't know. It's not about finding a single magic bullet, but rather about understanding the interconnectedness of these processes and developing a multi-pronged approach to healthy aging.
Well, I'm definitely feeling more optimistic about the prospect of aging gracefully. This deep dive has given me a lot to think about, and I'm eager to explore these topics further. But before we wrap things up, I'm curious to get your perspective on a bigger question.
On all ears.
If scientists were able to develop safe and effective ways to significantly extend human lifespan, what kind of impact do you think that would have on society?
That's a question with profound implications, and one that we'll explore in our final segment. Stay tuned, because things are about to get really interesting.
We've explored the science of aging, and we even talked about some pretty promising strategies for maybe extending lifespan. But now I kind of want to shift our focus to a question that's both intriguing and a bit daunting.
Yeah, I think I know where you're going with this. I mean, we've been kind of dancing around it this whole time.
Right. What if, just imagine, scientists have unlocked the secrets to aging, and they develop these interventions that could significantly extend the human lifespan? What kind of world would that even create?
That's a question that goes way beyond science,
Mm-hmm.
into ethics and sociology, economics, everything. Really, it's a question that should spark conversations everywhere. Households, classrooms, governments, everywhere.
It's almost like science fiction becoming reality. What would it even mean for people to be living to 150, 200 years old?
The ramifications would be huge. I mean, think about how our society is structured, our economies, our healthcare systems, even our personal relationships. It would all be affected.
It'd be like we'd have to rethink everything. Would people retire at 70, at 100 later? Would we need to restructure education to accommodate these longer lifespans and multiple career changes?
Well, it is fascinating to think about. Imagine all that knowledge and experience people would gain. People could become experts in multiple fields, contributing to society in ways we can't even imagine right now.
But there's got to be some challenges too, right? Would we start facing overpopulation, resource scarcity with people living so much longer?
Absolutely. Those are valid concerns. We need to plan carefully, find sustainable solutions to make sure that a world with increased longevity benefits everyone, doesn't strain our planet.
And what about inequality? I mean, if these life-extending interventions are expensive, only the wealthy would be able to access them. It would just create an even wider gap between the haves and the have-nots.
Right. That's a major ethical consideration.
Yeah.
We need to make sure these advancements are available to everybody, no matter their income. So longevity benefits everyone equally.
It's almost like we're standing at the edge of a whole new era. But we need to be thoughtful. We need to address all these big questions before we jump in.
Definitely. This quest for longevity brings up all these really deep questions about life and death, what it even means to be human. These are conversations we need to be having right now as the science moves forward.
Well, this whole deep dive has been an amazing journey, I've got to say. From tiny cells and molecules to the huge implications of extending human life.
It shows that science isn't just about facts. It's about pushing boundaries, making us think differently about our place in the world.
I think you've given our listeners a lot to think about. It's clear that the future of aging is, well, it's full of both amazing potential and a lot of uncertainty.
It's a story that's still being written, and we all have a role to play in shaping it.
That's right. And to our listeners, we encourage you to keep learning, Keep asking questions and keep having those conversations. The more we understand about aging, the better we'll be able to deal with the challenges and the opportunities it brings. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. It's been fascinating.